There we go. Make sure it starts up again. Guess.
Tell me
Sometimes
when you
there's
get
a
cooking so I
big
can.
delay in between there. Um, yeah, it hasn't started yet. It says we're live. Ouch! Stop biting me.
Here we go. Oh, I got a commercial. So,
Oh, yep, there it is. And I didn't mute. Hello, hello, hello.
hey, everybody.
We'll give it a few minutes before we get started with stuff. Hey, heroic Lisa, T girl in here.
Hi, Giggles Prep. I really
Storm,
like that name.
yeah.
That's awesome. Because when you can't do anything else,
You gotta
you
giggle.
might as well have a sense of humor.
Yep.
Hey, Crazy Irish.
Oh, so it's lunchtime for you, isn't
Hi,
it?
Lisa. Yeah, it is noon.
Yeah.
So it's lunchtime, all right. We fixing to eat some crickets.
Wait a few minutes here.
Sure.
I thought since we're going to be eating bugs, we might get a little history about and what is good. I got a cat playing with
Awesome.
plastic over there.
Hey, Heroic Prepper.
Let's see.
Does
Well, I got.
anybody in the chat have their crickets ready?
I know. Crazy Irish would love to do this little challenge here. She says she's fond of eating bugs.
It can be done. I actually think I could cook them better than how they come prepared in these boxes.
I wouldn't doubt it. Here, let
Mm-hmm.
me bring this up real quick. Um,
Hey, Homestead Aquarius. No crickets for you. Crazy Irish.
oh,
I take it
forgot
that's
to
enough.
mute my phone too. Okay, let's bring this up. Yes, as you can see, 10 edible insects we dare you to try.
Mm-hmm.
Some of I've had the big grub worms.
Oh,
Those were actually good.
really?
Yep. They
Huh.
don't look like it, but
No, they
you
don't.
just gotta make sure you pinch the head off and
Huh.
before you cook it and stuff. But let's go
So
ahead
you did
and
cook it.
huh?
So you did cook it.
Oh yeah. It
Okay.
it, it almost tastes like a roasted peanut,
Huh.
but bigger.
Uh-huh. Was it mushy after you cooked it? Like, did you cook it?
Oh yeah, it was kind of chewy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's go right to the good stuff here. Number one would be crickets.
See, it's number one, guys.
Yep.
Just
Uh,
don't eat them from a house that's had pest control service.
yeah, it says sure to be a reliable wild source, well away from areas likely to have sprayed for pesticides.
Yeah.
Su- Survival experts say avoid insects with bright yellow, red, or orange markings. Stick to insects that are black, brown, green, or cream, tan colored. It's also well known among bug eaters that best flavors of this unique food source depends on the insects and what they've been eating basically
Hmm.
before you capture them. Insects are often fed fruits or other sweet treats for a few days before they're prepared. Go ahead, we dare you to eat a bug.
Mm.
And then there's our lovely crickets. And then now
I didn't
this
know you
this
could eat
one
those.
I would have a issue with eating one of these guys.
Yeah.
Cicadas.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm assuming you'd have to tear their wings off.
Mm-hmm. I
Also known
I would
as
imagine.
the shrimp of the land.
Really?
Cicadas delicious roasted over open fire or deep fried and tossed into with salt and seasoning like chili powder or honey mustard.
Hmm.
Uh,
It is cicada seasoning too, or cicada season.
Cicada seasoning.
We
Don't give
got
them
them in
any
our
idea.
trees
They'll
right
probably
now.
have some of that. And
Mm-hmm.
mealworms. Uh, mealworms are the larvae of darkling beetles. Both dried and live mealworms are readily available online. These can be roasted in the oven with salt or marinated with ginger, garlic, and soy and
Hmm.
prepared in an Asian style stir fry.
Huh. There's a way to stretch your rice.
Oh, yeah. And then we have scorpions.
They put
Uh,
those in suckers a lot here.
yep. Yeah, they do.
I've never had one though. Have you?
No. I've seen people eat them, like the Survivor Man. He
Hmm.
pulls their tails off and cooks the
Mm-hmm.
rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
In China and Thailand, these critters are often served skewered and fried. They apparently taste similar to soft-shelled crab.
Mm-hmm.
Now this I don't think I would even want to try.
You know, I was thinking the same thing.
Fried in oil or butter with shallots. That's it. That's all they got for this June bug.
Hmm.
Uh, and then grasshoppers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my grandpa used to tell me that um, if you was low on chewing tobacco, you could pull the back end of the grasshopper off and chew on that because it's like chewing tobacco. Never
Huh.
tried it, but that's what he said.
Interesting.
Uh, remove the
Giggles.
legs, screw. Oh, I can't even talk. And roast over coals. Grate breast with teriyaki sauce while roasting. And then there's
All
ants.
in the
They
seasoning.
not much for ants.
You
Oh,
know,
it
I
takes a
had
lot of
ants
ants to
in a
make a
bottle of
meal.
syrup once, and
Yeah.
I didn't know they were in there. So I made French toast for the kids, and you know, they were putting syrup on their French toast, and I might have even put it on French toast, and totally did not notice
Yeah.
it was bumpy. Like, what is
What's
this
that pop?
crunchy stuff? Yeah, and they were like not the good ants either. They were those black Argentina ants that bite you and everything. I mean, they were dead, so
Yeah.
but you couldn't taste them. The syrup totally drowned out the flavor. Did you see what Camo Carl said? He said, "Eat them while you can. Someday they may eat you." You know, ashes to
True.
ashes and dust to dust, and somewhere there in between they will.
Yeah, there ain't not much with the ants because it takes a lot to make a meal. These are roasted, dry pan, or added to flavoring,
Hmm.
crunchy toppings
Hmm.
to other dishes. Their flavor
It
is
was a crunchy
sour,
topping.
more like vinegar.
Huh. I'm in syrup. You can't taste them at all, but I don't know what the benefit would be of eating them in syrup. I mean, I'm wondering how you would eat those to really sustain yourself.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that about the grasshoppers because I don't know how it is where you are, but we have grasshoppers here. It's just they don't seem to hang out together too much. Like you
Oh,
might,
yeah.
you know
You
what I
see
like?
one and
Be
then
a lot of work.
yeah.
Whereas crickets, my husband and I used to have a pest control company, and I'd go out and spray with him when I was going to college, and work with him in the field. And we always got a kick out of when we ran to a house who had like a total infestation. That was fun. Otherwise, it gets boring. But those
Yeah.
crickets, when you hit their nest, will jump all up your legs. You'll have them all the way up to your shoulders. Well, at least me, I'm kind of short. So you
Yeah.
can find a bunch in one place of
Oh
crickets.
yeah, you just throw some cardboard out in your yard and then
Mhm.
you give it a week or so and lift it up and you got a bunch of crickets out there.
Yep.
Next one is waxworms. Uh,
Waxworms.
yeah, these worms are the
Oof.
larvae of wax moth.
Hmm.
Today they are raised on farms for human consumption.
Whoa,
Wow.
really?
They are a good source of protein, but a little higher in fat than other insects. The flavor is somewhat like pine nuts,
Hmm.
and they can be roasted and sauteed.
They're sure not looking very good.
And then there's termites.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be another one I don't think I would mess with would be termites.
No, but at least you'd find a bunch of them. I mean, it
Yeah,
kind of, but you're
get a
going to get
old.
back to the ant thing. They're going to be small, and
Yeah,
are they
probably
the
good.
larvae
Like
of the termites?
the larvae would probably better than the crunchy bits.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
Maybe
got
just for protein and a skillet with say some dandelion leaves and salsify.
yeah. Now this one I didn't know about the
The roly poly?
pill bug. Yeah, roly
Huh.
polies. Those little roly poly bugs, some say,
Oh, that's
taste like
cool.
shrimp, boiled and sauteed in
What?
butter. In his 1885 book, Why Not Insects,
Huh.
Vincent Holt wrote about the pill bug, stating, I have eaten these and found that when crawled, a flavor is developed, or when chewed, a flavor is developed, marking re- remarkable akin to that so much appreciated in their sea cousins.
Wow.
I didn't know they were related. Wood
No
louse
kidding.
sauce is equal, if not distinct, superior to shrimp. And that's the
So
10 bugs there.
I trust you eat your shell on that one. Because can you imagine like what's left?
Oh man, that might not be too good. Okay.
Depends on how hungry you were.
Yeah.
You ever had a kidney taco? When you're hungry, it's good.
Now the next one I'm going to show you, you probably will not like. Let me go ahead and bring that up. Um, yeah, there it is. I hate have to go back through here and reshare it
We
up
have more
here.
folks joining us. Hey, Uncle Al, the
Hey,
Nut
Uncle
House,
Al. There's
Chuck C.
there's Peanut, Lake Fairy, Copycat, Red Scout. Carm-
Illusion Pepper,
yeah.
Shadow
Jeff is
Dancer,
jumping in here. Camel Carl.
CJ 1975. Hello.
ACJ and
It doesn't take a bit of
Cashew.
bravery. I'm telling you, it's not bad. It's really not bad. If you remember this, if y'all ever have to eat crickets, remember this. It is not bad, I promise you. Just pretend it's like food, like, anything else you eat. And I would suggest cooking and definitely salt and pepper, if not even better seasonings than that.
thank you, Ginger Ninja. I
Hey,
appreciate it.
TH2 and cashew casendite. Hello.
Yeah, like I can't even say the word when you sneeze and stuff.
God bless you.
Let's see.
Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, let's look at this. Now this will get you wondering here. Foods you eat every day, like chocolate, coffee, and beer, all contains thousands of insect bits. Bits.
Mm-hmm.
A new study from Insect Control Company estimated that we eat, on average, 140,000 bug bits every year. Mealworm, maggots, and roach pieces are found in everyday foods like chocolate, coffee, and wheat flour. It's totally legal.
And oatmeal.
The FDA allows a small amount of insect matter in your foods or in our foods.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that little bit was good to put up here.
I heard someone share once that the flour sifter was initially not intended to just sift flour. It was intended to sift flour,
Yep,
but it was intended to sift the bugs out.
yep, and the little eggs and stuff that are in flour.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, so I guess here's the package. I haven't even opened it yet. I guess I didn't want to look at it.
I can't remember what flavor I sent you.
Oh,
Crazy Irish. It's not bad, I promise you guys. I'm betting I could have cooked them better.
thank you, Crazy, for the super chat.
That's awesome.
Ugh,
Hey, Ginger
okay.
Ninja. Aleutian Prepper, these are like fat free too. What
Oh,
flavor is it?
which
Oh, you
it's
got sour
green,
cream and onion.
sour cream and onion.
And I'm doing bacon and cheddar. Oops. Bacon
Oh,
and cheese.
I think that yours would taste better than mine.
I haven't tried this flavor yet. I tried the sour cream and onion. The sour cream and onion makes you wish that you had more seasonings on there. Not because it's yucky, just because you feel like it needs more sour cream and onion flavor.
I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you can see that too well. Oh,
Yep.
look at the bottom of the. Look at all their legs.
I know it. Their little legs break off. Wait, hold on. Y'all see them? They include the heads and the legs. It's like the full body, but the legs do kind of end up at the bottom of the bag.
Trying to
I've
open this
already
so I
ate
don't
these.
spill them all over the place. Oh no, darn it! Oh, the cat got them.
I don't want to eat these alone, Charles. It's funner to eat your crickets in groups. That's how we did it.
Try to
Okay, hold
focus
on. Let me
that
get
thing
one.
up. Here, let me drop that out of the way, maybe.
Get a good one. Oh, look, this one looks. You just got to not think about them as crickets. See him? Got his little leg and his little head.
Yeah, sour cream. Hey,
Well,
Copcat, thank you for the super sticker. Oh, you ready?
I'm ready.
Cheers.
1, 2, 3. Just don't get a leg in your teeth. They're not bad. I mean, they're
A little
really not.
dry.
Very dry. That's the secret, everybody. If you don't want to be grossed out by eating crickets, make sure you cook them good. Like, you don't want to have them be all mushy and stuff. Keep going,
That one.
Charles.
Oh, he jumped right out of my hand.
I promise you guys, this isn't bad. I wouldn't be sitting here eating them. Of course, I'm not super particular with food. My husband's
I bit his head off.
mom. I met my husband when I was 19, so his mom taught me how to cook
Bugs in my
a lot.
beard.
My mom taught me how to work in an office. Here's another one. Check out. He's got his little thing, whatever that is. I forget what it's called. So Cashew Gesundheit said, "New office politics. Be willing to tell your coworker when they have a leg in their teeth." But I was gonna say my husband's mom taught me how to cook, and oh my goodness, you guys, she was from Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma too, but she could cook anything. I mean, she could cook anything, whether it was like Mexican food or Asian food. She could cook anything. She used to sit around and just read cookbooks. That was her fun thing. She was amazing, and she loved to cook. And but she would cook stuff like we had scrapple, we had pig's feet, we had um, some kind of part of the neck that she would fry, sweetbreads, she called it, of the cow. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
all good stuff. Yeah, kidneys, livers, we ate it all. She knew how to get it on too.
you know, Uncle Al, I can assume I just
No,
know him, and that he actually has a recipe for this, or he's probably already had them.
my husband didn't leave yet. He came in and grabbed the rest of the crickets from me so he could eat them. But they are good, guys. I only had like 2 left. Excuse me, there's soup on your bug. Yes, Ginger Ninja. Imagine that you're eating popcorn and you're getting holes stuck in your teeth, except it's not holes, it's legs and wings and antennas. They're actually quite brittle.
Yeah, it's really dry.
It's really dry.
I didn't
Isn't it kind of like
expect it to be so
pork?
dry.
Mm-hmm. So, Charles, everybody's heard my review. What's your review?
I really eat roots and greens and bugs,
But was it bad?
mushrooms. No, it wasn't too bad.
So, in this little box, which there's only like, I don't know, I didn't count how many I ate. Did you count how many you ate?
I think I had 4, so
I
there's
think I had
probably
about 4.
eight in there,
Well, maybe I had 5 because I
8
just
to
gave my
10,
husband like I think it was 2 and some legs,
and
and
some legs.
yeah, he wants to eat them. Like he's like, hey, don't eat those all. Let me have some. They are 4.3 calories, so it probably is about 7. Let's say 7 crickets, just in case it's by weight, I suppose. Net weight 1 gram. So 1 gram of crickets, 4.3 calories, 0.15 grams of fat, and zero point 0.1 grams of carbs. Look at keto diet, folks.
Yeah, there
Um,
you go.
and 0.67 grams of protein. So legit, y'all eat 14 crickets and you get 1 gram of protein. And it's like, I don't know, popcorn chips. You just got to cook them good.
Well, yeah, that's all processed food too. I don't know if, well, besides the flavoring,
Hmm.
would I mean if you went out and got your own, like they said, you want to feed them fruit and good stuff for a week or so
Hmm.
before you harvest them.
Well,
And
I don't know
and
if you find them like down by the creek or the pond or I know they like damp areas. Anybody who's in a suburban area that has like a community park that has like one of those holes where the irrigation comes out, you'll have a lot of crickets around there. But like you said, underneath of planters, underneath, if you go and you find them and you can catch you a bunch of them, it wouldn't even be that hard to catch 14 because usually they'll jump all over you. They're obnoxious.
now I've been asked this, so um, animals or bugs poop just like any other animal. So
Mm.
how would one clean out the poop before you ate them?
So, that's a good question. But I'm betting that. So, have you ever seen? Do you know what cricket poop looks like?
Yeah,
Remember, I was in pest control, so it looks like little bitty flakes of pepper,
yeah,
and I'm betting that their exit area is pretty short. Like shrimp, they got that whole line along their back and all of
yeah.
that. I don't think crickets have that, if it makes you feel any better.
So
And when you cook it until
we
it's
don't know if they've been cleaned out first before.
you don't.
It might be
You-
the little pepper flakes might be.
yeah, just pretend it's pepper.
It's not seasoning.
Yeah. So pretend that the crickets are chips or popcorn and their poop is pepper. There you go. Add some salt.
Hey, Tin.
Oh, do you see cashew gesundheit? Chirps chips are made with cricket flour. I'm
Oh,
telling you, they're
really?
not bad, everybody. Like, I know it's crazy to see because here in America we don't eat these, but Uncle Al eats them all the time.
Dang, how many was in a box?
I think only about 7 or 8 in a box.
I think he ate 5 or 6.
Oh, that was a little bit more crunchier. That one.
Mm-hmm. And the flavor's not bad. You almost like want more seasonings because they don't have
I
a
would
really
go for a
rich
different
flavor.
seasoning. Ranch and sour cream, I'm not a fan of. Just the
Aw.
flavoring. Regular ranch and regular sour cream I can eat. It's just the I don't know the fake seasoning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just not a fan of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it make you feel like somebody could have cooked it better?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Me
taste the
too.
bacon and cheese on yours?
Not like I want to. How many do you think you ate? How many you got left?
Um, 3
Got 3. So
and
you've had about 5.
a bunch of legs.
I guess I just woofed on them pretty quick, but I did give 2 to my husband. Camel crickets, CJ 1975. I'm not sure I know what a camel cricket is. Copycat, I'm not brave, I promise. It's honestly, they're not bad.
Yes, I have. Long time ago though. Not so much anymore.
A camel cricket?
No, the worm in the bottom of tequila.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that. My husband's done that, but I haven't done that. You got me. I'm hearing the cicadas in the trees outside. You got me serious.
Well, next week she'll be eating cicadas, sauteed in
I gotta
butter.
catch them first.
Well, don't they just set on the tree?
I've never. My daughter brought one in the house once when she was little, and she called it her pet. And then its wings ended up coming off, and we had
Oh,
to really encourage her to put it back outside. She didn't have a dead. She also, when we go fishing, she would claim one of the lizards, and she did that all the time. And one time she did it, and she named it Lizzie. And then we went and pulled over at a fish bank, just a piece of land. We were out in the boat, pulled over and got out for a bit. And when we got back on the boat, went out in our boat, she started throwing a fit because she left Lizzie on the seashore. So
oh.
those are the kinds of things we had to go all the way back and get Lizzie, or she was gonna give us hell for it.
I remember we had they used to have these things on Friday. They call it First Friday, and they'd
Mm-hmm.
set up booths and they'd have activities for the kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One day we're walking from the place,
Mm-hmm.
and my son seen a mouse, a white mouse, running alongside the curb. He ran
Mm-hmm.
over there real fast and picked it up. Ended up taking it home, and
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. He
he had a
caught it. That's
pet
like
mouse.
even more hilarious.
Yeah.
Was that in Arizona?
No, that's here in
Oh,
Ohio. Here, yeah,
yeah. Because they did that over in Tempe near the university here in Arizona. And a couple other places do like First Friday for artwork and stuff like that.
yeah.
TH2, all extra bugs will be donated to Bushcraft cats. They would
I
probably
don't know
like
if
that.
they're out sleeping now. But yeah, I think that it would have been good just no flavoring for
Mm-hmm.
me. because yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Sour cream.
Yeah.
Darn it. I should have given you an option. The bacon and cheese were pretty good.
I don't know.
So Uncle Al says dry it, then grind it to a powder and make protein shakes. You
That's a
know,
good idea.
you can actually buy crickets. I mean, don't they sell crickets for like to
Bait
feed
places and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Breed them, I guess, if you wanted to. Oh my goodness. That's perfect. Mhm. Chuck
Not
C
cutting off.
said a real fact, we most likely eat more bugs and processed food daily than
Oh
y'all just
yeah.
did. I believe it.
Yeah. Well, that one thing that I showed, what was it? 140,000 bug parts.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, Uncle Al says go to the bait shop.
Yeah. But then again, you would want to make sure you fed them good for a week before you did your business.
Mhm. Hey, the organized pineapple. Hey, Lake Fairy. Yep. So if you guys ever got to eat crickets, the hard part's not going to be eating them. The hard part's going to be catching them.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you want to raise some yourself, and I don't know if it ever came to that, that might not be a bad idea. I can't remember their life cycle, but I think it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't think they live very long.
Mm-mm.
Let's see.
Did you see what Chuck said? He said, make the guy at the bait shop cringe, order crickets and eat a few in front of him. I don't know
Oh
about raw.
wow,
I like them cooked.
most crickets can live for a year or more.
And what's the gestation period?
Um,
Does it talk about how many they produce within X number of days where you're looking?
yeah, it doesn't say that. How the common house cricket. I
Hmm.
I really didn't think they lived that long.
How many days was it again?
Oh well, wait a minute. This one says or can live for more than a year. This one says around 8 to 10 weeks to become adults.
Hmm. That's kind of a long time in a bug's life.
Yeah, it is.
Cricket eggs, the new caviar.
Oh, now
Have a
this
good
says
rest of
something
your day,
different.
Giggles Prep.
Crickets only live about 8 to 10 weeks once adults
Hmm.
and die of old age.
Hey, Sniffer.
So yeah,
We are doing good. We had to, this last weekend, we had to move some firewood. We moved like 2 cords of wood. It was a lot of work.
were you close to the fires?
No, but we had wood that we had put on a trailer that we had gotten from the woods. We went and harvested our own wood and we had it on a trailer. When we cut it, we just put it back on the trailer because we didn't have any plans for the trailer. So we needed to, and it's a 14-foot trailer. So we had to take the wood off of the trailer and we got it set up along the fence line, away from the house, because you don't want to end up with rodents and stuff. But it was a lot of wood.
Yeah, I was watching some of the fires in New Mexico. I
Hmm.
guess there's a big garlic farms in New Mexico that their whole crops are gone.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Mm,
and we get a lot of garlic from New Mexico
mhm.
for some reason. I never knew that.
Wow. Hey, and that's our medicine for a lot of us. I mean, garlic
Yeah,
is like one of my go-tos if I get a headache. I make my fire cider with garlic. That especially during the winter, we'll take that every day just to keep our immune system up. But if
yeah.
I get a headache or anything like that, I'll eat garlic, and sometimes it helps. Garlic and radishes. I have about 36 garlic plants out back I'll be harvesting here soon.
Oh,
Thank
that's
goodness.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to grow some, but like I was there, I was in process of getting property.
Hmm.
I put an offer and everything on it, but
Hmm.
that fell through because um, the lady's place got broken into. All of her stuff was stolen, and
Oh no.
yeah, and now I don't know what happened. They completely took it off the market now, so I don't know
Hmm.
anything other than
Hmm.
that now.
Hmm. Yeah. I know it. Where were you looking for land at?
In this area.
Hmm.
Well, I was looking anywhere in Ohio because that's when my
Hmm.
son gets out in under 3 years, then
Hmm.
he's wanting to be in this area.
Hmm.
I wanted to get in Oklahoma, but he said no. I
Hmm.
hate it in Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah, he's stationed in Oklahoma for uh, almost 4 years.
Hmm.
So he said it's always windy and it's always hot. Of course,
Hmm.
he was on the western side.
Hmm.
I said you need to go to the other side of
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
the eastern side. I'm
Yeah.
from Muskogee. It's nice there. No, Sniffer, we're not truck drivers, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, we really like the states of Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky. We haven't considered Ohio.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we get a lot of snow here.
Hmm.
The last few years, it's been like 2 3 weeks of
Hmm.
high snow. Well,
Hmm.
not high like it is in Montana or something like
Hmm.
that, but
Yeah.
it's been a lot.
Hmm. We didn't get enough here. Hey, Nick, over at Arizona Highland Homestead. You missed the cricket eating. I guess we should have ate slower.
Oh, I don't know. You can't eat much slower than what we were doing. A couple chomps and it disintegrates.
Yeah, we only had 8 we started with, so they kind of went fast. We started when we were looking the places that we like. We kind of started with, okay, who's got good gun laws, because
Yeah,
we have great gun laws in Arizona. I mean, that is one thing. Anywhere you look, you're going to see Arizona and Alaska at the top of the list for having good gun laws.
yeah. Um, I also was thinking about Texas, the eastern end of Texas.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, he said he wants to be up here where it's cool. That's it's not
Hmm.
really cool anywhere nowadays.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it gets hot where we're at. We're at 7,000 feet in northern Arizona. And so, I mean, shoot, we will get up to as hot as maybe 90, 93 degrees, but we have no humidity. Like,
Yeah, you don't once you get used to it, it's not really hot.
yeah, it's not that hot. Nobody here has air conditioners on their homes. We'll put it
Yep,
that way.
swamp coolers.
Yep. Nick, that's right. Everyone here carries. We carry everywhere. Um, Shoot, you see people carrying in church, as they should. As they should. I
Hey, and
honestly,
then yeah,
the more people
Texas.
carried, the safer that you're gonna be. The more people that carry, because most people are good people.
Yeah,
Hmm. Is it
they're
90 degrees and?
they're switching the laws here too.
Hmm.
So it's hard to say. I mean, for the good.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends the way you think about it. It's you
Mm-hmm.
don't you can you can carry without taking a class or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we got dry heat. And Nanya, yeah, it does get hot. So, and we have like 6-inch walls in our home. So it's really well insulated. So it'll get hot maybe around like 2, 3 o'clock or so. And it starts cooling off at 6. Like you can open the windows and the temperature's already dropped outside. So it still gets down into like the 50s or 60s in the evening. So that's why people don't have air conditioners. It's just such a short
Oh yeah.
period. And that span of time only lasts about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I used in Phoenix I was a roofer down there.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
know exactly how hot it is.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
used to do it without a shirt on and stuff too.
Hmm. Yeah. Before we had the pest control company, my husband did the metal stud framing. So he was, up high too and out in that heat. It was awful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The worst part of it is you have to have some thick shoes because
Mm.
you feel the heat through your feet
Oh yeah,
being
that
up
is
on a
so
roof.
true. Hmm. Yeah, Arizona full of shade seekers.
Yep. So what else you got in your garden besides garlic?
So garlic and onions, and then some of my winter crops are still producing, like my chard and my kale. Um, I've got some things that underneath. Well, I guess it's over here on this side. Underneath a grow light right now, and a bunch of starts, tomato starts, a lot of peppers, some loofah, melons, just some things that I'm growing for the first time up here just to see how it does. That's
Yeah.
one thing I like about gardening is, every year you try new things.
Yep.
Hmm. And
That's why like last year I tried the Cherokee purple tomatoes
hmm
and there's people said you can't grow them this far north. So I
hmm
had to try it anyway.
hmm
They got so big. I tried this new contraption for uh, a thing to hold my tomato plants up.
hmm
Flopped
Oh
over. Yeah,
no, no
I
work.
won't be using that thing again.
Yeah, and that's how we learn, right? Just from
Yeah,
doing it.
I thought. Well, I got it at Ollie's, and um, it was pretty cheap. And I thought, well, it looks nice and sturdy and everything, and it had the little clips where you clip everything in. And
Hmm.
soon as some big tomatoes started coming in, it went.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm growing some mortgage lifters, some beef steaks, some little cherry tomatoes. Um, gosh, just a couple different kinds, some that are new. Celebration tomatoes, just
Yeah,
to see.
they probably would have grew 10 or
Hmm.
9 feet, but they
Hmm.
flopped over, so I don't know exactly how high they grew.
Mm. Oh, that's what you need like a couple of big old posts to
Yeah,
prepare for that 9 foot of growth.
yeah, I'm gonna get the cattle fencing things
Hmm.
and put some post in
Hmm.
because um I'm doing pineapple tomatoes
Oh, awesome.
and also the Cherokee ones,
Hmm.
but um because I hardened my plants up and everything, but when I put them out, the first day it was in the 60s.
Hmm.
Then it went to 80 and then 90 degrees, and a lot of you know they're still hanging in there, but
Hmm.
they got burned up pretty bad. My
Yeah.
cucumbers and my tomato plants did.
Yeah.
Peppers were fine.
Yeah. That's why I always plant extra because at some point
Yeah,
I could possibly end up killing them by accidentally leaving them out too long when they're little or whatever. Hey,
yeah.
Barb's Country Home and Ark Wildman Survival. Good to see you guys. Shadow Dancer, You mentioned you can water once a week for 20 minutes and gardening's almost impossible. You must be somewhere where it's dry. I found out there's this plant that grows, and I got it on my property, so I'm going to try to harvest it. But it looks like it should be pronounced salsify, and I shared a picture of it from the foraging book on my library prepping
Oh, yeah.
video. But I've heard it also pronounced salsifi, which is kind of weird. But I guess shadow dancer. So these things are growing on my property. I'm not watering them. I'm not doing anything to them. And they have a long root on them that can be used as a potato substitute.
Oh,
And I even saw that one person was making coffee out of the root. And this is the yellow salsify or salsifi. It's SALSIFY. And also called a goat's beard. I don't know why, but
oh, yeah, I've heard of that term, goat's beard.
yeah, it's a member of the dandelion family. Every bit of it is edible, like all of it. But the baby leaves are the ones that they suggest eating. And the
Yeah.
root itself is supposed to have a flavor kind of like if you boil it, the water that it's boiled in will have a flavor like oysters. So you can actually use it to make an oyster
Huh.
stew or pull it out of there, toss the water because you don't like oysters, and then it's going to taste like potatoes.
Huh.
So I'm going to harvest it and see how that is. I'm just really curious about it. And I even heard Drop's Family Garden did a video, a couple of videos where he mentions he calls it salsifi, which is I guess is the right way. But he mentioned on one of his videos, it's another good plant to have. So let's say you have an SHTF situation, which, anybody who is preparing hay vineyard chicks and they have their food stores, you don't keep it all in one place, right? Like you
Yeah.
have some of that put somewhere else. If you get bombarded or somebody comes in and steals your food, you could have that salsifi growing. It's going to look like a whole bunch of weeds, and they're not going to know that that's actually food.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
my flower bed is weeds, and
Mm-hmm.
people look at me like, and I'm like, I'll go out there and harvest because I plant dandelions in there.
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
Well, why do you have so many dandelions in there? And
Mm-hmm.
I grow them there.
Yep. Hey, will it grow? Good to see you, John.
I got
Yeah.
chickweed in there, and then all kinds of other stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
plantain, and it's
Awesome.
usable stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is. And sometimes we just need to change with this thought in mind about what grows without attention for us, because here in Arizona, for example, water is a big deal, very
Oh
big
yeah,
deal. If we had a grid down situation, that you're going to have a choice to water your garden, or you might run out of not have enough water to even drink. Like at some point, you're going to have to be like, man, I can't water my garden. It's either water my garden or live. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So you're going to have to rely on some vegetables that grow around your property, because you can have your stores. If you run out of vegetable stores, constipation can be deadly.
yeah,
Like we got to make sure we have some kind of veggies to eat, and there's a lot of vegetables that people just they aren't acknowledged because maybe they're not as good as a potato. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I think those are great things to educate ourselves with, is knowing what will grow out here.
yeah. And you get the hunter that says, well, if it comes down to it, I can eat animals and stuff.
You and
It's
everybody else.
it's not as easy as you think.
Hmm.
Well, out in Arizona, it's probably even less. But even here, they figure for one person, it's to survive on wildlife. It's 2 to 5 acres.
Hmm.
So that's a bit
Yeah.
it's not
Yep.
as easy as it seems. Oh, I'll just go out and
Mm-mm.
hunt
No,
squirrel and
especially in a state
rabbits.
like ours. In a state like ours, you're going to have everybody trying to go in these woods if the
Yep.
government doesn't flat out shut them off. And because we had fires up here, they have been trying to close off some of the forests. So they can do that. We have a lot of anybody who doesn't know who lives in a state that's mostly privately owned. I've found that as we've, been looking around at other places and stuff. But if you'll note here in Arizona, it's mostly public land, government land. We call it BLM, Bureau of Land Management is what it stands for. And yeah, they have control over these forests. I mean, to the best of their ability, anyway. Yeah, Homestead Aquarius. If it gets bad, maybe rabbits.
Yeah,
But then
because
when you trap them, rabbits can get pretty darn smart too. And if you're not
yeah,
in a month that has an R in it, you're screwed.
just look at the show. I know it's probably a lot of editing and stuff, but the alone show that
Mm-hmm.
they have on history where they have a bunch of people go out and they have to see who can last the longest,
Mm-hmm.
and they get guys, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put these traps out here and this, and they
Mm-hmm.
go check their traps every day and there's nothing in them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them
Yep.
end up eating mice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because we don't have in Arizona, we don't have like the opportunities to buy big old pieces of land that have a lot of animals on them. I mean, we could, but some of the land that's out there, big old pieces of land, straight up desert. And at least
Yeah,
anything that's affordable, like it's straight up desert. It's pretty hardcore. But we can't do trapping and things. And I've seen people trapping. I got to shout out one person, and that's Ark Wildman's son, Wildwind. He goes out and traps and catches those beavers, and he gets some big ones. I mean, he does a great job trapping. I know there's other channels that do that too, but that's a skill that we need to develop because we just haven't. We hunt, we fish, we garden, like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Right? Or we go buy something. Like that's how we get our food. Trapping is not something that you can't
yeah.
put a trap out here in these woods.
And even good trappers will say it's you just don't rely on one or two traps. They put out 20, 30, and maybe get
Hmm.
one animal a week or something
Yeah. Yeah.
in certain areas.
Hmm. Yeah, we'd love to have more land to be able to do that. Vineyard chicks, Google the Google Lake Mead. That'll answer your question as to whether or not you should move here.
No.
It's spelled MEAD, like good old fashioned mead. Um, yeah, Lake Mead, not doing so well. And that's one of the sources of our energy of the 17. What were they called again, Charles?
Um,
The hydro.
yeah, hydro pumps.
There's 17 in that lake that produces electricity. Of those 17, only 5 are still remaining below water and functioning. So I'm sure the powers that be are trying to figure out something about how to, handle that scenario. But we are really having some water issues here.
Look how much water Vegas uses.
Hmm. Exactly.
And well, they are starting to think about it now that they're
Hmm.
running out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like the big old fountains and things they got.
Yeah. I even see them because, we're near the Grand Canyon and you've got Flagstaff where you've got Northern Arizona University. They're putting in new hotels.
Hmm.
And I'm just thinking, does anybody not even realize what's happening? Like, I feel like there's people who just don't get it.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
I watched a thing where they were showing uh, the lady bought this really nice area, 20 some acres, and they went out and leveled the place out for their cabin, everything. And before they got started, they were putting a well in first.
Hmm.
Um, and they went over 700 feet,
Hmm.
nothing. And the guy said it's very doubtful you're going to get anything. So they just
Where
bought
was that?
somewhere in the northern area of Arizona. They didn't
Oh,
really
I
say.
believe it. Hmm.
And right right up from there, a guy did have a well,
Mhm.
um, over 1,000 feet deep,
Mhm.
and he thought his pipes were bad, so he had a guy come out and fix the pipes and stuff, and he spent like $7,000 on redoing it all to
Mhm.
find out there's no water in the well.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
why? How do you not test to see if there's water down there before you fix everything?
Right? We had that happen to us. We were actually renting at an old home. It was actually it was a really cool. It was like 1940s or something. It was pretty cool because it had like on the inside of the kitchen cupboards, it had a sticker with all the remedies. And so it mentioned, things like vinegar and baking soda and all this really cool stuff that I got a kick out of that. But we were on well water and it ran out of water and they had to drill it down deeper. It was rough doing for a little bit, but yeah. And it can ruin your pipes though, Charles, when you don't have,
Oh
because it
yeah,
starts pushing the dirt and everything into them.
yeah. A lot of times they'll stick a hose down there and then
Hmm.
blast it with a bunch of air to
Hmm.
bust up all that stuff, but you can't drink
Yeah.
it for a good while after that.
Yeah. Hey, any of my desert friends out there, I just learned another interesting thing. Those dang bull thistles. I can't stand the thistles. I'm not a fan
Oh,
of thistles. But did you know
and them
if
little
you,
things that you step on.
oh, the horrible thorns that come out of them?
Yeah.
And if you look up harvesting a thistle, it's like one of the only plants you'll ever see where it says wear eye protection. Seriously, because I guess it'll pierce the cornea just like that. And it'll have a propensity to do that. Maybe because they get tall. I don't know, but it's wear eye protection. But they will actually retain water and liquid in there, and they're edible. They're fully edible. The whole
Yeah.
thing. It's just you got to cut the thorns off. And by then you end up with like instead of a leaf, you end up with like, the stalk that the leaf was on, but it tastes like celery. And the whole bark that it grows up from also tastes like celery and it retains water in there. Just sharing that. And Uncle Al's talking about a water condenser.
Yeah.
Try a water condenser, 2 gallon a day. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to look it up, Uncle Al. I don't know what I do. You mean like a still that you make distilled water from, kind of water? You say condenser, I'm thinking machine. Is that what you're talking about? Or like the old fashioned where you put a saran wrap over a bowl and put a bowl inside of that and put a rock on it or something. I know there's a way to condense water that way. Mm.
Yeah,
Ginger
that's what
Nick.
I think of when he's talking about um, water condenser. I thought another word there, water steels, I think they call them.
Hmm.
And usually you can cut up cactus and stuff, and it draws the moisture out of it, and
Hmm.
it whatever comes to the top drips down into the bowl.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, take water from air.
there
I
not
saw
much
them do some.
water in the air in Arizona though. Up north there is a little bit, but
So I looked it up the other day, Charles. We had 7% humidity.
seven.
7%.
That's quite a bit though. Because I know
It was cloudy.
down in Tennessee, Tucson, Arizona, because I used to live there too.
Hmm.
It usually not didn't get up one or two.
Really?
It was zero most of the time humidity.
Hmm. Oh, Uncle Al, a machine that takes water from the air. So I have been hearing and hearing about those and seen a couple of articles on that. That is pretty cool that they can do that. Yeah, water is a big deal here. And I think the
Oh
other
yeah,
thing Like, shoot, for anybody who lives up here, I mean, it might not be even be a bad idea to plant some of the cactuses that you can eat, like the prickly pears.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that we tend to eat, and that's the other piece of it
Because
is
they're
it
a
wouldn't
pain
be
in
a
the
bad
butt.
idea to try to eat these things.
Yeah.
Ark Wildman did a video the other day, his Canteen Tuesday, and he was cooking Queen Anne's lace. And I thought that
Oh
was
yeah.
pretty cool because it's true. Like we know how to harvest all of this stuff, and we have other food to eat. So we don't necessarily, eat the food that we can harvest, but maybe we should. So it's not
Yeah.
such a shell shock if we ever have to. And for some of us, we need to prepare our property.
Yeah.
I would, you know what I mean? Anybody who's living like in the high desert up north, figure out what grows here that you can actually eat, and then that doesn't need any water from you. That's
Well,
gonna survive.
you seen Homestead Aquarius. He seen something alongside the road. He dug it up and took it home.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mullen plant.
Uh-huh. Oh, I got them everywhere.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I've got to do. I'm in Shed Wars, and for anybody who doesn't know what that is, because you're in Shed Wars too, I think we're on both on Will It Grow team, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I've got to do a video. I've got to harvest some aloe, and it's kind of funny the things I'm harvesting because I'm going to harvest that salsifi or salsify, whatever we
Yeah.
want to call it, and I'm digging up that dang thistle. And I know the root. I can make a tincture out of it, and we'll
Yeah.
see what I decide to do with it. But I've got to harvest the mullein. Anybody who likes to use or have mullein on hand, I like to keep it for respiratory, for colds. I make a tea out of it. You can
You can
smoke
smoke
mullein
it too.
too. Yeah, I've smoked it before. It's a nice, even smoking herb.
Yeah.
And I need to go harvest it. And if you're using mullein for any medicinal things like that, the first years and the spring leaves are the best because all the energy is in the leaves.
Yeah.
Whereas you get as soon as it starts shooting up a flower stalk, guess what? Get those flowers because
Yeah.
all the
The
energy is
flowers.
in the flowers. And then towards the fall, at least when the first years get towards the fall, you want to harvest the root
Oh, I
because
don't
the
have them with me.
root.
I've got the seed setting over here somewhere.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope,
see, I don't have
hope.
to do that. I have it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's all over in my yard. hmm But that's one of my favorite plants. Thistle in alcohol makes a painkiller like Vicodin. Be charming. Is it? I suppose you're talking about the root. I know
I
you
know
can eat
that
those flowers too.
the flowers are good. Make a good tea.
Yeah, and the flowers, if you cut into them, they're like an artichoke. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Um.
I.
The the prickly pears.
hmm
Because you know, being younger and out there, everybody says, yeah, you can eat those,
hmm
but make sure you burn off the little
The spikes.
little sticker little things.
hmm Yeah, that
You
would be a
bite
good
one of
idea.
those, your tongue's going to be feeling it for a good while.
Oh man, I'll bet.
Oh,
Yep, and dandelions. So I've got to get out there. I'm harvesting some dandelion leaves. I wanted to harvest the flowers and fry them so bad, um,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I
I
know
told
that's good.
Lori's World about the flowers from chickweed. You can dip them
hmm
in and deep fry them. They're really good.
Yes. Yeah, that's what Ark Wildman did with the Queen Anne's lace. That's what I wanted to do. But I also, last year and the year before, we didn't have hardly any dandelions. So when I
Oh,
found them,
really?
yes, on our property, when I found them in the woods, I'd bring them home and I was trying to get them, just to grow wherever. I mean, I don't want to garden them. I want them to do their own thing. So I didn't harvest the flowers because I want them to do exactly that, just spread and multiply. But the leaves, the flowers are gone now. So I want to get out there and get the leaves while I can. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of
Once the flowers go, then that's when to get the roots.
Mhm. So that's what my first weigh-in is going to be for Shed Wars, Charles. It's going to be aloe leaves, salsify and bull thistle roots, some mullein, and some dandelion leaves. That will be my first weigh-in.
Yeah, I had my lemon balm, which that stuff is like indestructible.
Awesome.
That came back up. It
Hmm.
actually, I put it in a pot, a pretty good
Hmm.
sized pot. Stop,
Hmm.
cat. And because I drilled holes in the bottom of it so to get more drainage, I went to pick the pot up to move it, and the
Hmm.
roots went through into the ground, and there's no moving it unless I
Hmm.
cut the roots. So I just left it where it was
Wow,
at.
that is
And
awesome.
my whorehound came back
Hmm.
during the snow too. There was actually
Wow.
green coming out of it. I was like,
Hmm.
wow,
Wow.
that's a durable plant there.
Yeah, I
Because we had that
planted.
one frost and it
Hmm.
because I figured the frost was going to kill it because it we had
Hmm.
warm days and then
Hmm.
again we had a frost and then
Yeah,
it's doing good.
awesome. I had some lilacs that I planted last year. I didn't know it took them like years and years to even produce flowers, so kind of bummed to hear that. But they lived through the winter, and they've been tolerating the drought and the clay soil. That's what we have: drought and clay soil. And if
Yeah,
you, I've got to do my video and when I do all my harvesting, and I'm going to show everybody what the land looks like. Like I know
yeah, the
Bogey
soil.
Hollow Farm is up north. She's kind of, high desert ish, but she has beautiful grass growing and it looks like pretty good dirt. I mean, I don't, you go in our yard and you see cinders because we're living on old volcanoes up here.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just red rocks, cinders, and we do get some shoots of grass. And there's actually quite a few edible grasses, but it takes a lot of work to eat grass. Like you're basically pulling the seeds out of the feathers that grow off of them. I'm sure you can eat the rest of it, but I don't know that it's any good. What I look up is just eating those seeds.
yeah. When I was in Tucson, I tried to grow um, tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Didn't work out.
uh, I even get
You
even
could probably dry can them. Sorry.
I even got brought in soil too, and it just you almost have to have permanent water on them
Mm-hmm.
constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tried some daylilies because daylilies are another edible, plant, and they live through the winter. But if I'm not on top of watering them, and I don't know why I forget those poor little guys like I do, but I do. So they're still making it, but I am really trying to to remind myself to make sure to give those daylilies enough water. I mean, it sounds like a water plant, right? Like probably not a great idea to have up here, but depending on the time of the year, I mean, they'll make it through the winter, so you could have a little something to eat in the spring. I never ate a good tomato while living in Arizona.
Not really.
The
You,
ones from the store are pretty bland. The ones I've grown
they
in my
have
garden.
farms out there too, so it's
Hmm. Yeah. So what are your favorite herbs to grow, Charles?
um like I said, I'm growing the horehound because I'm gonna
Hmm.
make because the first year this is the first time I actually got it to grow, and the
Hmm.
seeds are really expensive
Huh.
if you can find them, and
Wow.
they're real hard to grow. You'll get
Hmm.
them to come up, and then they just die.
Hmm.
And then this is the first time I got one of the seeds to actually grow,
Hmm.
and
Awesome.
um, and it's real good for your congestion and to
Mhm.
stop you from coughing and things like that.
Mhm. Yep.
And
Will you make a tea, tincture, or like a cough
I was
syrup?
going to make cough syrup, or
Okay.
not cough syrup, but cough drops.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
and have just a dry herb for tea or something.
Mhm.
But what I found out though is the when it turns into when it gets its flowers,
Uh huh.
bees come from, I don't know, because I we didn't have any bees around,
Uh huh.
and once that flower popped out, whoosh, there's bees all over the
No
place,
kidding.
and
Wow.
they it attracts bees, which
Mhm.
is good
Yeah.
because then they went because
Yep.
I had the marrow grows and because they bloomed up first, but
Mhm.
no bees were around, and
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, that kind of
Yeah.
sucks. And then once those, then I had bees all over the place.
Mhm. Are you gonna do the kind of cough drop that has like the sugar or honey base, and it's like like, or are you gonna use like slippery elm root in there? I would
Honey.
suggest slippery elm root,
Yeah, I was just going to use
the
honey,
powder.
which honey is real expensive now.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I read that you're not supposed to really heat honey. You can add it to something that's hot, but as far as like cooking it, um, whenever I use honey, I let, like, for example, when I made the
let the it cool down first before you add it
yeah,
in. Yeah.
yep, add it in so it's not really cooking it, but it does melt it well. Um, but you should use the slippery elm root powder. That's really coating and soothing. It would be really nice because, if you have a cough, that means you probably have an irritated throat from
Yeah.
coughing. I think that would be a good addition to that for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm. Too much horehound makes fat?
Fat.
What? What do you mean? It's not very good. Horehound's kind of nasty tasting, I think.
Oh
You
yeah.
gotta put something in
That's
there
why
to
I
make
say you
it taste
need
good too, Charles.
because I made some tea
Hmm.
and I was
It's horrible.
like, woo. I said,
Oh, makes
oh,
you
fart.
gassy.
No, I don't know about that.
I don't know if anybody wants enough of that horehound to have it make them too gassy. That stuff's pretty brutal.
Make sure we keep it away from Jeff. What else? Yeah, the limb balm, and because both my neighbors on both sides, they have you see no flowers, no odd shaped green things in their
Hmm.
yard because they get the little push thing
Oh
that
yeah.
shoots out stuff to get
Hmm.
rid of their weeds.
Yep.
And I'm over here. I've got pots that have
Hmm.
weeds in it,
Hmm.
and they asked me why am I growing weeds, like the dead nettle,
Hmm.
and they freaked out because I picked it up and I said they're really good.
They are good for you.
Oh.
Nettle is like nature's multivitamin, is what I've
Yeah,
always heard.
yeah. I'll pick it up because I like the flowers. The flowers
Hmm.
they're nice. It's almost
I've
like a
never
berry.
tried those
Yeah.
because the only nettle that I've ever had, I'm purchasing online from Mountain Rose
Oh,
Herbs. That's one of, like, my favorite place to get herbs from. I'm buying it already dried and I'm using it that way. I've never tried to grow it. I don't know how it would do up here. Hmm.
no, we're not allowed to grow that stuff here.
You could grow it in Arizona though. I think you just got to have. I don't know if you can only grow like two or something like that.
I remember when I was in South Dakota, we used to grow it in old trunks. that trees had fallen down or they cut them and they
Uh-huh. Huh.
it's good soil in there.
Yeah.
Mix a little dirt in there with all the compost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's when I was in Job Corps.
Mm-hmm. Crickets with Merlot. For everybody who missed it, we ate the crickets. You'll have to go back and watch the
Yeah.
beginning. Maybe we should have waited a while so more people could.
We already had our snack.
Mm-hmm. They aren't bad. Ark Wildman ate them too. He can attest to that. They really aren't bad at all.
Yeah, he told us this morning when we were on a Trust in God and Crazy show, Crazy
Mm-hmm.
Irish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they taste like sunflower seeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yep, that is a good comparison.
Which kind of, but mine were really dry.
Yeah,
They almost turned into a sawdust.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's funny. Have to go back and watch your premiere, Ark Wildman.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah, it's Wednesday. It's this cast iron day.
and I'm just thinking that I think it was TH2. I can't remember who asked about canning the crickets, but
They
there
probably
is
turned to
no
dust.
expiration date. Well, hold on. It says best by November 1st, 2023 on this box. So apparently
Yeah,
they
that's
last a
mine.
while.
Mine says the same thing.
Yeah. So, I just feel like if we were in an SHTF situation, and no joking, if we were, and I came across a bunch of crickets and I could
Oh
collect
yeah.
them, I think I would, because 14 crickets is 1 gram of protein. And honestly, we sat here and woofed. Like, I mean, this little box only had about 8 crickets in there. My husband, he took 2 of them. So I ate about 5 crickets. I could have sat there and ate more for
I don't know.
sure.
You probably can't zoom in that.
Here, mine might. You, yours has the
Oh,
background. Everybody see? Oh,
there
there
you
we go.
go.
So see
Oh
there,
wow, yours had
7 grams for 8 crickets.
yeah, mine had four sodium too.
Yeah. So even some.
It probably has the same
That's
thing. It
probably on
doesn't.
the seasonings. But oops.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I would do that. Dry can them, cook them first, and then dry can
Yeah.
them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just get them dried out real well. I mean, and heck, if you're in Arizona or someplace that's really dry, you could probably lay them out on a cookie sheet with aluminum foil outside in the sun, season them up, maybe even add a little oil, toss them midway during the day. You wouldn't even need to use a stove or dehydrator.
I told Crazy Irish that I was gonna send her worm jerky, earthworm jerky.
Oh, that does not sound tasty. I bet you crickets are better.
Oh yeah, I'd eat a cricket over a worm jerky.
Hmm. Yeah, crickets, the post-apocalyptic chip. It is what they're like.
Cat, behave.
Ask Uncle Al; he eats them all the time. You know what um, so I posted this on my community page that we're going to be eating crickets today. And Uncle Al replied, and he said that he had them with his cereal or on his oatmeal or something like that.
Oh,
That doesn't sound good. That didn't sound tasty. To me, it's more of a crunchy, salty kind of treat, if you want to call it that. Ah,
I'm not a cricket, but
oh my gosh, that's funny. I actually read you are not supposed to eat cockroaches.
oh yeah, I wouldn't
I
touch
mean,
one
I
of those.
wouldn't want to, but you are not supposed. Those are one of the no-nos for bug
Yeah.
eating. Homestead Aquarius, I'm with you on the worm thing. I don't know, like those are mushy. Crickets are really crunchy. Salad topping, be charming. Absolutely.
Is that how they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Alchemy.
Mm-hmm. You are what you eat, level 10, said Ginger Ninja. I don't know, them bugs are pretty dang healthy.
Uh,
Gotta give them that.
yeah, I know. Bunky said she would eat some of them grasshoppers and crickets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the new jumping worm. I don't think I'd want to
Jumping
eat
worms.
any worms. That would be really, really hard for me. I mean, they'd have to be cooked. I'd have to really psych myself out to do it, but
New kind of spaghetti.
yeah. I mean, and I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know. I would not die of starvation
I know. You could
over
have
not eating something for sure.
peanut butter and mayonnaise worm sandwiches.
Oof. I don't know that mayonnaise. Take out the mayonnaise. Maybe put some jelly in there. Or I don't actually. You know what? Maybe peanut butter and soy sauce mixed up, and then put the worms in there. That might be better. Maybe if you could mix in a little bit of real noodles. Hey, Stuart's prepping. Ginger Ninja.
Hey, Stewart. No, not again. Yeah, the stream yesterday kind of went way off subject into weird food combinations.
Oh no.
Talking about the next pandemic, and then it turned into food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cashew Gesundheit. This is the gross content I subbed for. It's all about survival. I
Uh-oh.
mean, I'm not going to starve.
Did you send me
Radiated
radiated
crickets are missing
crickets?
from your biome. That's funny.
I'm starting to glow here.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I think I'm going to call it here in a couple minutes. We've been here for an hour and 23.
Does anybody have any
Thank
questions for us?
questions. Well, you already kind of said that what bugs you wouldn't eat. It'd probably be the cockroaches.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't eat a roach. I don't know
Um,
about them worms. I'd have to be pretty dang hungry to eat those worms.
roly polies.
I might try a roly-poly. Anything that looks like it'd be crunchy, I might give it a shot. And those cicadas got me curious.
Yeah, I mean, they said it
How's
tastes. It'd be like lobster.
I
That's
have
kind
no aftertaste, Homestead Aquarius. So I suspect my breath is not bad. I'll
of.
ask the hubby. But there's no bad aftertaste. And I've only drank water with it.
I had pineapple mango
I don't know if
juice.
spiders are edible. I don't think that they are.
Oh,
Charles,
yeah,
have you heard?
I don't know about that.
Hmm. I don't think that they are.
The waxworm, I'd probably try that.
You would? God,
Yeah,
they look so
because I had
awful.
the big larvae that grows inside the tree,
Hmm.
and you have to get like a little hook thing and pull them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. I had one of those.
I wouldn't eat killer hornets.
No. There you go.
I can still taste it.
Oh, lightning bugs make your teeth glow.
That's funny.
Barbecue
I have a
flavor.
question for everybody in the chat. Did seeing us eat crickets today make you think to yourself, if I ever have to do that, maybe I won't feel as bad trying? Snake eating? I would eat a snake.
Oh yeah, I've had snake qu- quite a bit.
I've never
Um,
had one.
rattlesnake.
Hmm.
Um, there used to be some restaurants where you could get ordered on the menu.
Hmm.
They farmed
Hugo
them.
Holmes said I would never survive. Yes, you would. It's not bad. It's like chips. I promise.
Just think of it as popcorn.
It is like popcorn chips, sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
It's very dry, very crunchy. You won't get a cricket leg stuck in your teeth because they're so fragile. You chew, they collapse. Only would eat under last resort. I consider that a win to
Oh
be able
yeah.
to do. Yes. Yes, Barb's Country Home. I've had pig's feet, not pickled. Um, I
Yeah.
I like
Same.
pig's feet on the stove.
Pig's
Cook the
feet and
pig's
with
feet,
beans.
and then you make scrapple out of it by putting it in grits and let it get cold, and then you fry it and you roll it in flat. Well,
Mhm.
then you put it in a bread pan and you let it get cold, and then you slice it and you roll it in flour and fry it. Oh my gosh, the best stuff.
Yeah, I got tricked into eating uh, pig's brain.
Hmm.
They scrambled it
Pig's
up with,
brain?
yeah,
Huh.
with eggs.
Hmm.
I didn't know the difference. I thought it was really good eggs, and then
Hmm.
they said you're eating pig's brains. I'm like, what?
Huh. Wow.
And I said, well, it ain't too bad, and I finished eating.
Hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of food that we turn down, all of the parts of the animals that people don't want to eat. Like, oh
Pick,
man, heart
pickled
is a delicacy. We
pick,
love it.
yeah, pickled cow tongue.
Cow tongue. Yep, and they use that in menudo. And if you can take heart and cow tongue and kind of mix that up, add liver in there, and you can make Braunschweiger. If you've ever bought like the liverwurst at the store, well, there's one that's called Braunschweiger, and that's like how they make that. They use the cow heart, the cow tongue, and the cow liver. So good. Menudo is awesome. And I haven't had it in a very long time. I need to get some. Yeah, Braunschweiger, that's how you make it. So if you ever buy a half a cow or a cow off of somebody, if you're not raising a cow, just make sure you tell them, "Hey, I want the heart and I want the
Yeah,
tongue and the liver."
yeah. A lot of times, um, even the tallow and stuff, you can ask them for all that stuff.
Be charming. It's okay. Just eat it anyways. Now, head cheese, we could go on about that too because we love that stuff. Have you had that before too, Charles?
Yep.
Love head cheese. Well, this
Yeah, I
was
guess
fun today, Charles. Thank you
from the
for
stuff I've ate, I guess it crickets isn't so bad.
no. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yes, if you liked liverwurst, yep, I did like. Hey, that stuff is good for you. It's all good. All those inner
Chilled
meat,
monkey brains. I don't know about anything to do with the monkey nowadays.
right? You know, I'm not gonna go into talking about that, but I just want to make one comment, and that is that over the years, I can remember even when I was younger, there was always some weird disease somewhere somebody had. Um,
Yeah,
we heard of this, I'm afraid to say any words, the swine FLU, the bird one. We heard of
yeah.
these things. We heard of all of these weird
Just
diseases.
not even not long ago, four
And
or
not
5 years
even,
ago,
yeah,
it was here.
yes.
It
And
wasn't this
nobody
bad.
threw a, yeah, and no one threw a big deal over it. It was like that thing going on over there. And it doesn't seem to be spreading very rapidly and I just,
The thing is, when this other thing came
mm-hmm,
in 2020,
mm-hmm,
um, it's freaked people out.
mm-hmm,
So anytime that
yeah,
starts going away a little bit, then he
mm-hmm,
brings something else up.
mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
I think it's all to get us to stay indoors and order our
control,
food by um, Dashy Door or whatever the heck it is,
yeah,
DoorDash
yeah,
and those things.
yeah. It's for control,
Yeah,
to spread fear and have more control. We just don't even listen to the news because I think that when you do listen to it, you're, I don't know if everybody remembers that our own government hired psychologists and psychotherapists to figure out how to get the public to take the what and to share their way of thinking. They
yeah.
actually talked with psychologists and psychotherapists, and you could look up MK Ultra if you want to. Like, people study how to manipulate people.
Oh
So even
yeah.
if you're watching a channel um, that you think is supporting your way of thinking, they're all being ran by the same people. They are all being manipulated. That's why Carrie Lake quit, who she worked for. Don't need to say any names, but so when you watch it and you think that you're sharing, you're keeping your own train of thought,
Cricket,
remember,
cricket
they
dash.
hired people to figure out how to get you to be fearful and to believe their way of thinking to a certain point. You are up against, you're putting yourself in a position where you could be manipulated because they paid psychotherapists and psychologists and psychiatrists money to figure out how to brainwash people is what it boils down to.
just
Manipulation. Is that
just
a word I'm supposed to
look
say?
at the past of
Mm-hmm.
the things that the even not just our government, other governments,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this
Yeah.
our own government, the CIA,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, tested. I can't even say that
Mm-hmm.
a certain substance to. It's a three-letter thing. L is the first one, S and a D. They tested it on the public to see what it would do. I'm
Oh,
like,
now I know what you're talking about. And it does
yeah.
not have a vowel in the middle,
I was
right?
like, and it's public knowledge too.
Yeah.
They actually got the studies and stuff that you can go read, and I'm like,
Cashew
and
gazoon
they didn't
time.
ask permission. They just did it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whoa. That's awful. Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, we don't watch the news. We don't worry about too much of that. We, you
Yeah.
know,
I actually, well, I don't watch it.
we worry about what they're going to do with the info. We do.
I read it. I read
Mhm.
other countries' news on us,
Yeah.
which you see a lot stuff that our news is not allowed to post
Hmm.
until it's all over everywhere else, and then it comes out
Hmm.
here. Woo!
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah. You know what's funny? All the news that we in our wonderful YouTube family here, we hear news from one another and it's coming from different sources, not
Yeah.
MSM, right? So then what happens is after a while, all of a sudden you hear it on MSM. Um, like Elon Musk's
Oh,
recent,
yeah. Be careful with him.
yeah, I don't know if I'm where he said, if you guys think that's a big deal, wait till you find out what's in the you know what. We already, all of us, know what's in the you know what,
Yeah.
you know? So it's going to be new news to everybody else because only because somebody that's, you know, wealthy and powerful says something. I'm sure they'll shut him down, but.
Yeah. You want to see something really fast downhill?
Hmm.
Go look at our our reproducing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's was way up here, and then it's going whoosh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and everybody says we have all these. There's too many people. There's too many people in the world. We don't have enough food in this, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going way down.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see it. I'm still waiting for a lot of the fallout from the you know what.
Hmm.
And you know what my background is, so I work in research. For anybody who doesn't know, that's what I do. It's what I've done for like 20 years. And there's people that work in it with me and they went and, you know, got it. They felt comfortable doing that. But I saw so many laws violated through that whole thing that I just felt like something was really fishy and it's such a new technology.
Yes, uh, that is Biden back there. He 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 came into my bunker and he took his shoes off. Now I can't figure out which foot goes on or which shoe goes on which foot. So he may be there for a while.
Raccoon City. Hooga.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. It's at 4:30. We went a little bit more, but oh well.
It was fun chatting with you and thank you for having me on, Charles.
Yes, it was fun. Next time you'll have to send me a cheeseburger or something.
Cheeseburger flavored crickets.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, I didn't get a phone call. But thanks everybody for super chats, and thank you mods for keeping the riffraff out and stuff like that. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow on Jeff Bear's channel at 3 o'clock.